What is up, Hardcore Nation? It's Hardcore Christopher here.
And I know I'm probably going to get a whole lot of heat for saying this, and me and Wrestling for Fans, who I just got off the phone with about 5 minutes ago, we agree. Shocking, right? We agree that Bret, I asked him a question, and that question was, Bret, do you think that Bret doesn't like Bill? And that's not. And there's a reason why I asked him. It's because that every single time Bill Goldberg is brought up in a Bret Hart interview, Bret takes the time to bury Bill Goldberg for that heel kick that ended Bret's career. Okay. In 1997, let me just set the stage here. In 1997, actually for 14 years, Bret worked for the WWF. 1997 is where it all came crashing to a halt. And why? Because Bret Hart, who was nothing more than hype, didn't want to do business. He didn't want to drop the belt to Shawn in Montreal. And that's when Triple H, who his character, Triple H's on-screen persona, doesn't care about the business. That's his on-screen persona when he's a heel. He looks down on the business. He looks down on the people. That's what made Triple H a great heel for so many years. But now that he's a executive and you actually hear him speak, he does not think that way. He does not think that the business owes him anything. Here's the problem that Bret, along with, I'm going to throw him in here, Ahmed Johnson, a.k.a. Sweet Tea, in WCW. Why'd they name him after a drink? I have no idea. Actually, I think it was Big T. Big T, Sweet Tea, something like that. Ahmed Johnson thought he was bigger than the business. Bret Hart. Bret the Hitman Hart. He grew up in a wrestling family. His father was a promoter of Stampede Wrestling. Stu Hart's Stampede Wrestling. Bret thought he was bigger than the business. And I'll give credit where credit is due. Just like with Shawn. Shawn was a great Intercontinental Champion. After he split from Marty and threw him through the barbershop window. A great Intercontinental Champion. Sherry Martel. Scary Sherry was the perfect manager for him. He was even great tag team champions with Diesel, aka Kevin Nash. But the WWF champion Shawn Michaels. I like Shawn just like I like Bret, but Bret should have never went to WCW. If anything, he should have exited the business after the Montreal Screwjob. For about 20 years, it's been Bret screwed Bret, and then Bret said it's Vince screwed Vince to the build-up to their WrestleMania 26 match. Bret screwed Bret, and it's halfway Vince's fault because Vince allowed Bret to negotiate with Eric Bischoff in WCW while Bret was champion. It was also Vince McMahon's fault that Vince gave Bret a lucrative contract for like 20 years or so, and then realized afterwards that he could not afford Bret's contract that he offered. But SummerSlam 1997. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, everyone knows the story. Bret got screwed. But it wouldn't have happened that way if Bret just agreed to drop the belt to Shawn. Fast forward to WCW. Bret Hart comes in. Bret's debut made no sense. He wasn't even put into the main event slot, and by the time he got into the main event slot, his career was over. He blames Bill for ruining his career. Bret's career was already over. You have to remember when Bret left in the manner that he did, was he gave Vince an uppercut, and I gotta give Vince credit. He took what he had coming to him like a man. Bret was so bitter. Bret Hart was a great Intercontinental Champion. And he never let the Intercontinental Championship go to his head. But when he got the WWF title, he let it go to his head. Bret Hart was nothing but hype. Nothing but hype. And I'm going to reiterate something that the late great Macho Man Randy Savage said in a promo on Thunder. It's a close out this video. Bret Hart, you are the biggest mark for your own publicity. I'm Hardcore Christopher.
Keep it hardcore, everyone.